I did do, like, the 8 months of, like, really aggressive chemo, so the last few months I had to stop because one of them was turning, like, my hands and my feet into, like, jelly, like, I couldn't hold a pencil, I couldn't hold my toothbrush, I couldn't do anything, so I was like, "What is this?" Like, I can't do anything, so they decided to stop.
Hey guys, I'm Marisa Personius, and this is Cancer Theory. This channel is all about bringing you stories and resources to help you along in your journey with cancer. Without further ado, I'm going to bring my friend Alondra in. Again, I have to get used to looking at the camera. I keep wanting to look at you. I'm going to look at the camera. Anyways, Alondra, why don't you go ahead and tell everyone what exactly what cancer you had and when you were diagnosed?
Okay. So in 2006, when I was 18 years old, I was diagnosed with a stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. I didn't feel anything, and maybe I just wasn't paying attention because I was 18 and I didn't really care about anything. I was going to the doctor for pink eye, but
Okay.
when I was getting ready, my mom noticed the lump, and she was like,
Okay.
"Well, if you're already going, might as well just ask and see what it is."
Get that checked, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "Okay." And, like, when I was about to leave already and I remembered, I was like, "Oh, and then I have this little thing on my neck. You can't really tell, but my mom wants me to ask." She started, like, feeling it, and then I saw her face, and, like, she kind of scared me, but she didn't say anything. She just said, like, "Okay, I'm gonna send you for, like, an emergency CT scan tomorrow," and so then I went the next day and had a CT scan, so I had to get a biopsy. 7 days later, they told me it was lymphoma, and I was like, "I have no idea what the heck that is," but
Yeah.
I had a computer, so I went into my computer and Googled a bunch of stuff, and it just scared me even more. He just said, like, "You have cancer, but you're gonna be alright," and I
Yeah.
just started crying.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, cancer was something old people got and they just died. I didn't know there was so many different types of cancers, there was stages, there was nothing. I thought cancer was one thing,
Yeah.
and, like, old people got it and died. Yes, so then I was seen in a clinic, and I was still kind of like, it hadn't set in yet, like, I didn't really know what was happening until I was, like, sitting in the waiting room waiting to be called, and I saw this little girl come out of the clinic with, like, no hair, and she was, like, chubby, and she had, like, all these things coming out of her chest, and they were connected to an IV pole, and I was like, "Wow, like, what in the heck is this?" And
Yeah.
then that's when I got kind of, like, really scared, and then when it was my turn to come see the doctor, like, he was, like, trying to explain these things to me, but I couldn't stop crying. I just thought, like, "I'm gonna die."
Yeah.
And he, like, hugged me, and he was like, "You're gonna be alright, like, we're gonna take care of you," and, um, he said, "I want you to stay now, like, if you could just stay, and we can start, testing, like, right away," and I was like, "I didn't bring anything, though," and my mom's like, "It's okay, we're staying, and, like, your brothers can pack you a bag or something," so, yeah, from there, they just put me in a wheelchair and took me into the oncology floor and started testing, like, right away, so I had tests for, like, 10 days. I was inpatient most of the time because I don't know why, for some reason, I don't know if it was my chemo was too much or something, but I was always sick, and I could barely move or walk or anything, so I think it was just easier for them to just keep me there and have someone watching me than send me home and then have me have to come back right away. And they said, like, since it's an easier type of cancer to cure, we're hoping that, in 4 months with 4 cycles, it'll just, like, get destroyed, and then we'll see from there. So it was originally 4 months, and I do remember the first treatment I got, they scanned me the next week, and they told me, like, "Oh, it shrunk 50%," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this
Wow.
is gonna be this isn't gonna be that bad. That means, like, in the
Yeah.
next one, the rest of the 50% will be gone," but I didn't know how it worked, so I finished the 4 rounds, and there was still, like, spots in my lungs, so they added another 4 rounds of chemo, and then at the very end, I did 2 months of radiation just to make sure everything
Wow.
was healed. I started having, like, problems with my bones and then with my heart and then, um, just random little things that I didn't even know, like, I could have. So, they did have to stop one of them because one of them I think it was called, like, vincristine or something like that, and then they started me on physical therapy right away, and that helped a lot, but I still had, like, something called a foot drop where, like, your foot is literally dropped. Like, you have to wear something to hold your foot so that when you walk, you don't trip on it. Oh my gosh, I finished my last treatment in February of 2007, so, like, 16 years.
And are you like doing pretty good at this point?
Yeah.
I want to talk about We Are Ocean actually. What did We Are Ocean mean to you and how did it impact you? And before you answer that, I'm actually going to explain again to people what We Are Ocean is. It is a nonprofit that takes people on ocean adventures, and it's based out of Southern California. People can fly in from all over. We've had people that are still currently patients. We've had people that hadn't even started treatment that just got their diagnosis. Alondra, can you share what the camp meant to you?
Yeah. I I only knew what Jack had told me. I didn't know, like, what
Yeah.
to expect. I didn't
Jack is
know.
the founder for everybody. But yeah, continue.
Um, so, I mean, from the beginning to the end, it was a great, great experience.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sailing there, I had never sailed before, and it was crazy. It was really windy, and it was kind of scary, but I kinda knew we were gonna be okay because there was a lot of people there taking care of us. And then we landed. We weren't on a plane. We get to the island and, I don't think like, had talked to each other yet. We were still kind of, like, shy maybe or we just hadn't had time to sit there and get to know each other. So,
Right.
they gave us our tents, and I think me and you shared our tent, right?
We did. We were tent buddies.
Um, but yes, like, once we started talking and getting to know everybody, I feel like within the first day, we became like family, like really close. And we shared a lot of really personal stuff with each other because it was a smaller group.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we fooled around and did dumb things and sang and we ate. We did a bunch of really cool stuff. We went, what is it called where you jump off?
Zipline?
Zip lining. We did zip lining.
That was like a facing your fears moment for you, right?
Yes, because 'cause I'm scared of heights.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it felt really good to be in the air, so I'm glad I did that, and even the crew that came to film us and the people that cooked for us, everybody just it was really such a great, like, I don't know, I feel like we were meant to be all together. We all clicked and it was great.
It's like a family.
It was like a family or even more because even my family doesn't know what I've been through like that because nobody else has had cancer in my family, so even
Yeah.
like, you guys understand more still than a family, so
Yeah.
it's like lifelong friendships we made, I feel.
It's an instant bond.
Yes,
Yeah.
instant bond. I feel like it's really beneficial for your mental health, which is something really important that a lot of people don't talk about because I don't know why it's still like something that should be hidden almost, like, I don't know, but it's 2022 and I feel like after COVID, everybody has some type of mental issue, and
Yeah.
there's nothing to be embarrassed about, so I feel like We Are Ocean helps you, like the meditating helps you get into yourself and let go of a lot of things, and just being there in the ocean, just you forget about everything else and you feel normal and you feel good.
Hmm.
So, I would recommend, I mean, I would say, like, everybody, like, you went into it a month after treatment. A month after treatment, I felt like I was still dying. I
Yeah.
feel like almost a year after treatment to feel okay.
Yeah.
Um, so, like, if you feel like you're ready and you can do it, I would really recommend you try it. It's amazing. I know it's, like, difficult and you feel like you're alone, but if you do something like We Are Ocean, that changes you as a person and it gives you hope, first of all. And there's something about just sitting around a fire by the ocean with other people who have been through things like you that I don't know, I don't even know how to describe it. It's amazing. So I would say probably try something like that. Maybe journaling, meditating, those things you can do without, like, physically getting hurt or anything. It's something you could just do in your room, in your bed. Um, and there's apps that you can download now that teach you how to meditate, or they're specific for certain type whatever you're feeling, for either to help you sleep, to help you with depression, to help you with anxiety, and you can just pick, and it somebody just talks you through it, and it helps so much. And, that's actually why I decided to kind of go back to school and get into all this, integrative health coaching stuff, because there's I wish I woulda had somebody like that back then when I was going through treatment. Because back then, it was just me being 18, and then everybody else was, like, kids. They were, like, 3, 4, 5, and there was nobody for me to really share with or talk to. There was nurses, but I don't know if they understood really what was happening, so,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say maybe even join a support group or something online, Instagram, just I feel like it's a lot different now than it was back then. There's so
Yeah.
many things you could do now. When I had just started chemo, they asked me if I wanted to talk to, like, a counselor or a priest or something, and I don't know why I chose the priest.
Yeah.
And he came in and he sat down with me and he read some of the Bible to me, and then he told me, like, to look at this as a journey that you're going to go into, and to know that your mind is stronger than your body, so whatever you tell yourself you're gonna get through, you will get through, and it's more about thinking positive and not I mean, it's hard not to feel sad and depressed when you're in that situation, but just, like, knowing and having faith that you're gonna be okay helps you get through it, and I
Yeah.
never felt that, and I feel like that helps with everything, not just cancer.